This is Honey Bunny, executive producer of The Shaun Thompson Show at AM 560 The Answer, wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
560 WIND.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
They relied on Donald Trump and Trump's money for decades. Decades. That's why when I play you this clip, Rosie O'Donnell used to kiss Donald Trump's ass 8 ways this Sunday, back when she was playing Betty Rubble, all sucked into a Betty Rubble costume. You remember those days, Squirrel? People thought she was not so repulsive as she is now. So Rosie O'Donnell and Joy Behar went to Donald Trump's wedding with the Clintons when he married Melania. And now look at what happened. By the way, have you seen Rosie O'Donnell? You want to talk about a dog walking up there and smelling her face. This is the mental illness coming through. Just the expression on what used to be her face. Now, very similar to a sphincter of a dog.
Yes, honey. You know, I saw your thing, and I had just come from therapy, and my therapist was saying the same exact thing, that, you know, grief is a positive thing to go through with all that's happening now in our country, and rage is not. So
let's see. I give you as much money as you name if you can get back into that Betty Rubble costume. What do you say? And I want to watch you do it so I could never eat again.
To give this narcissist no power is the only thing that's going to affect him. None. Do not say his name. Do not. And I heard what you said loud and clear, and I'm like, good for you. And I love your posts. I think you're very poignant and very inspiring.
I think you're repulsive and stupid and useless. And by the way, this slob of a human being and every other Democrat, they would have voted for Bill again and Hillary again after he not only molested and defiled Lewinsky, forever changing the course of her last name, which, by the way, I think it should still be called a Harris. However, it's every other Democrat. Jamie Raskin, second-generation communist Marxist pig. And they're going to pretend that the Epstein, that's what they're upset about, huh?
One of the things we did see were a number of pictures of former President Bill Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein, with Ghislaine Maxwell, in a jacuzzi, swimming in a pool. How do you explain that connection, and are you comfortable with it?
I mean, I have no idea. This is why we want to get to the bottom of it.
You have no idea. You're supposedly a smart lawyer, right? But then again, you're a Democrat. There is no such thing. You might be cunning. You might be diabolical, but you're a scumbag. And while he was in the jacuzzi, those pictures may have been, most likely, with a 90% ratio, during his presidency, scumbag. Now, the only question is, was that after or before a sitting president gave a rape victim $870,000 to settle a rape allegation? Was it after or before a sitting Democrat president admitted to raping Paula Jones, let alone Juanita Broderick? You just swept that under the rug. And every low-rent, low-living welfare roach suck-on and corrupt pig would have voted for as many Clintons as they can. Get that puggle of women, Chelsea. That's what happens when two species should never be mated.
That was the red flag where I knew something was wrong. I am all for redacting anything that involves the survivors or their families.
Ro Khanna made $170 million in 6 years from inside trading. $170 million. Are you struggling for this Christmas? Is things tough? Worried about your electric bill? This good-for-nothing connected rat pig used information only a handful of Americans had and profited for $170 million. When did you know something was wrong? Scumbag.
That was the red flag where I knew something was wrong. I am all for redacting anything that involves the survivors or their families. And one of the things, unfortunately...
What about Monica Lewinsky? Was it you and George Stephanopoulos who held the door open when you smuggled the 21-year-old intern to be defiled in the Oval Office by a nearly 60-year-old man, pig scumbag who happened to be the president? Now you're gonna act like you know right and wrong? You don't know any right and wrong. You're a Democrat. You wouldn't know wrong if it slapped you in the face with a fish in its hand.
We learned is that there are 1,200 survivors, according to the DOJ itself. That means, just think about it, if there are 1,200 survivors, there was more than one person committing this abuse. And what I thought should not be...
Is Monica Lewinsky a survivor or no? How about Paula Jones? How about all the hookers in Washington? When you pay them, are they still survivors or are they in business? I guess if you don't pay taxes. George, Naperville.
Shaun, I have a quick comment, but first I'd like to say Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones.
You right back at you.
Okay, thank you very much. But never forget, our governor beat the House. He's an inspiration to all gamblers.
Yes, I like that. In fact, you should put his big fat ass on the side of a video poker machine owned by Republicans and Democrats as the scum feast on the bankruptcy and the poverty and the financial collapse of their citizens. That's how you know you're in a Democrat state. Glenn, Chicago.
Hey, Shaun, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. This corruption in Georgia probably affected the two Georgia Democratic senators race. There probably would have had at least one Republican and not two Democrats.
You changed the course of time. Of course, you changed the trajectory. What do you think the problem is with all these Democrat bungholes called sanctuary states keeping illegal aliens on the voter rolls? Like Illinois. And Alexei Giannoulias all silked up with his greasy shirt on and his glazed face talking about license plates that he couldn't approve. In the meantime, how many millions of illegal aliens not only are on our voter rolls, but have you given driver's license to? Silky G, scumbag. I can't stomach the lot of them. I really can't. Eduardo, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Shaun, good afternoon. You know, I'm glad they killed that story because there's nothing breaking about that story.
Whoa, what are you talking about, babe?
60 Minutes.
Oh, come on. I haven't watched that since Mike Wallace started to be unable to get off a changing table. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I am glad that we're sending prisoners, especially MS-13 and Tren de Agua members there to El Salvador. Because the media and the Democrats, they have kids' clubs with the criminal element.
You know how many stories I've had throughout this year? Throughout the 5 years of these filthy, illegal, gangbanging scum kidnapping and raping our women? And now the Democrat politician, you care about the scumbag, huh? This is the This is the phony facade of altruism when it really is steeped in a more nefarious player. They need the illegal alien drug dealer because Democrats are in on the drug trade. Yeah, you are. You mean to tell me you don't think they are? Let me ask you something, Eduardo. You seem like a relatively smart guy. You were smart enough to get the hell out of Illinois. How could it be that open-air drug markets exist in a society that enforces law? How could it be?
By Democrats.
By protection of government. The reason gangs stand on a corner, and everybody knows the corner, is because they are protected by government, by law enforcement. The fix is in. It's that fracking simple. And it's been this problem wherever Democrats are. You know where you never see drug dealers? In a decent neighborhood run by anybody but Democrats.
In red states, yeah.
You'll never see a drug. I see a drug dealer. Number one, I'd probably give him a couple in the cheek myself. But number two, there would be people outraged. You know what Democrats do? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? The cops are in on it. Who are you going to call? Get the hell out of here. Stop pretending. Stop playing games. These fracking Democrats. Here, where's that other idiot? That simpleton. Squirrel, you know what he had on during this speech? I think you can figure out. Where is he? Where is this moron? Red shoes, tan pants, and a red Argyle sweater? Yeah, it's him.
This is on my watch. I am accountable for this. And more importantly, I am the one that will fix it. They're not interested in that, so they throw.
You cannot govern. You're a Democrat. Not only did you allow one tiny group of illegal aliens and protected class citizens, aliens, you let them steal $9 billion. That is the prima facie evidence. You cannot solve the problem, simpleton, you moron. And that's his excuse, right? I mean, after all, look at him.
What was he wearing? Well, he was wearing a red Argyle sweater and tan trousers and red shoes. No, he's not retarded.
Yeah, sure. How much of your paycheck you want to bet? Scott Willowbrook.
Shaun, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I think, it's at this point, we just got to kind of look forward. This is going to be a great year because there's a plan. We got through this first year with Trump. He put everything in place. We're going to see the financial growth going into this next year. Let them keep nipping away at these scumbags and all the stealing and the skin trade that they've pulled over these last 10 to 15 years or whatever. And let's let the country get a taste of the financial growth, because he's got this plan where it's actually going to be worked for. It's going to be a real actual
But
growth.
Scott, you've got millions of, if not tens of millions, maybe hundreds, actively working to destroy the quality of life of this country by undermining, specifically, by lying, cheating, and steal every one of their neighbors. You want to get along with them through success? You think you're going to show a scumbag drug dealer, welfare roach queen? Look at where the economy's doing good. Don't you want to be decent now? You cannot. If you want to have a good year, start a secession movement, because there are 26 states or 21 states that are sanctuary states that are illegitimate, that were essential in stealing the 2020 election and will steal every election in perpetuity, which is why I told my friend, I'm thinking about running for Congress in the Chicagoland area. Why? You can't figure out that the voter rolls are rigged, that a sanctuary state is a sanctuary state because they need the plausible deniability of anything of what they practice. Stealing elections, rigging the system against the decent.
The Department of Justice is suing Illinois over failing to produce their voter registration list.
The Justice Department is now suing 22 states, and according to these lawsuits, the Attorney General is charged by Congress with the enforcement of the National Voter Registration Act.
Luckily for the scum and the illegal aliens and the election thieves in these Democrat areas, you know who's the Secretary of State? Not just our own Silky G all greased up. Democrats! Mafia members. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.